Everybody, welcome. As you saw here, you guys are from all over the world, as are we, and we're super excited to speak to you guys. So the reason we're meeting today is we're talking about Project Apollo. We're going to introduce it. We're going to go over what it is and why you should care. So before that, this is me. If you guys don't know me, my name is Ilya. I'm a co-founder and the chief product officer of TaxDome. And so I'm going to go through kind of a lot of the updates that we've already done and a lot of the updates that you're going to be seeing in the near term. So first off, what is Project Apollo? So the main idea behind Project Apollo is that it's a faster, more intuitive, effective UI. So what does that mean? Everything is about the user experience, right? So the user experience doesn't just mean user experience for you, it means the user experience for your clients. So we want every single experience that you guys have to be seamless, to be fast, to be easy. Now, obviously, that's not always the case. And at the end of the day, if we could just speak to have something happen, that would be the goal. But what we've done is through a much more effective UI. It's a revamped design and a better user experience for you and your clients. Now, you might want to know, why did we name it Project Apollo? So it was the first program to successfully land humans on the moon. Now, we're not an aerospace company, right? But we like to think big. And this inspiration is what led us to calling this Project Apollo. And in this presentation, you're going to see a batch of the changes that we've made and what you're going to see soon. And again, everything is focused around making this the best possible user experience for you and for your clients. So what can you expect today? The first is we're going to split everything into two. So we're going to go first over changes for your firm. So these are things that you and your staff are going to experience day to day using the software. And then the next thing is you're going to see the changes for your clients. So you'll be able to see how the experience is going to change for them, because you guys probably, at least when in speaking to firms, oftentimes firms look at the client experience right when they're signing up, but they're not as familiar with it after the case. So we want you to be exactly aware of how easy and what the changes that we're making for your clients so that their experience is great for you. Outside of features and user experience is the thing that you don't see, but you're going to feel. So the thing that you're going to feel is infrastructure and stability updates. So our goal is to make sure that the system is fast, it's always stable. And we've been working really hard for over the last, we're always working on it, but over the past year and a half, we've made a number of big architectural changes on the big picture that have really made a big impact. As you guys can see, general page loading is up to 4 times faster now. So that's every single page you guys see and your clients see when using the application is now 4 times faster than it was. Documents. So for those of you, especially the bigger firms that have lots and lots of documents in the system, those load up to 40% faster now. Pipelines. So again, especially for bigger firms, if you've got thousands and thousands of jobs at the same time, that's up to 30% faster. And what we're working on now is a revamp of the e-signature. So when you're requesting a signature, that loading time while it's creating that signature for you guys, that is in the process of being improved, and that's going to be far faster. So before we even get into the actual things you can see, we wanted to cover the things that you already feel and that your clients will feel, which is the speed and how that's working. So these are the things that we're going to cover. We're going to first talk again for the firm. We're going to talk about the new tables, and those have already been released. You're going to see that. We're going to talk about filters, tags. Now, this might not be as apparent until you see what I'm talking about, but it's going to make a really big difference in terms of keeping your firm organized, especially the bigger you are. We're going to talk about our new menu. You guys click in the system every day. We want to make sure that those clicks are as efficient as possible and as few as possible. Jobs. We want to make sure that it's really easy for you to add information where it needs to be in the system. So we're going to go over that. And finally, helpful tips throughout the system. So let's dive in and see what we're working with. All right, so the first thing you're seeing is our redesigned table. One of the biggest requests that we've had in our feature request board forever was we want to be able to customize our tables. We want to be able to adjust the column widths. We want to be able to choose which columns we show, which columns we don't. We want to be able to scroll better. All of these things have been addressed here now. So you can adjust the columns. we've made it really much more intuitive and easier when you're scrolling up and down. So when you're scrolling horizontally, when you're scrolling down, so that's much easier now. And you can also now choose what information you show on the screen. So you can hide columns and you can choose which columns to add. Now, what's going to be coming to this that's not covered here is we are having a CRM update where you're going to have a lot more custom fields, and you'll be able to add those custom fields to the tables as well as columns that you're going to be seeing. Next, so you're not seeing this yet, but in the very near future you will. It is new filters. So you could always filter information, but it was too straightforward, right? Too on the nose almost. So anything that you did was always an and. You could, if you added clients that have any pending signatures and this tag and so forth, it was always and. Now you can make much more complex logic by using and or logic, and you can make much more complex filters. You can narrow down your search with multiple conditions using numbers. Some data is greater than or less than, and overall the interface has been modified. So really excited to deliver this for you guys, but once you start using this a lot, you're gonna start seeing big improvement here. Now, both the filters and the tables, they're being released for the client list first, and then they're going to be released all across the system with time. So we're starting with the pages that you're visiting the most, and then they're going to be released to other pages based upon frequency. Tags. So this is kind of what I alluded to in the beginning, is tags are such an important part of a CRM, right? So especially in TaxDome, we have tags everywhere. Now, what we've done is we've created a brand new page, and this has been a big request, but people have always said this is a problem, but we weren't really sure how best to do it. So we think that this is going to be really useful for you. So in this area, you can see how your tags are utilized all across TaxDome. Now you can see how often each tag is utilized, and each number that you see on the screen, each of them is a link. So you can click each number to say, oh, I want to find all my pending tasks that have the tag wait until next week, for example. You can click through that. So this is a really organized way and to find the information that you need through tags, which are such an integral part of our system. Sidebar. So and just to clarify, the tags has already been released in our early access program. So you guys should be seeing it soon. And this you're not seeing yet, but this is a new redesigned sidebar navigation that we're currently working on. We want to make, like I said, we want to have you make as few clicks as possible that you can have. One of the ways to do that is to reorganize things in a much more fluid way. Because before, the menu was created multiple years ago, and as our functionality kept growing, we just kept adding to it, right? Now it's come time to do a redesign of it and reorganize it and fix the communication typo that's in there. But we're going to do all those things and make it much more convenient for you. Now, the other thing that it's going to do, aside from just purely reorganize, is it to give you more space to work. Where previously you would go into workflow and then have tabs at the top, now you don't have those tabs. So it creates a bigger workspace for you to work, makes it easier for you to get to where you need to be. Next, jobs are really the cornerstone of every practice, right? It's what you're doing in order to get paid. You complete the job for the client. Now, the best practice is we definitely recommend you to use our workflow, right? Because that's really the cornerstone that ties everything together. Now, it's always been not that convenient, or rather inconsistent across the system of how to link different items to jobs. So for example, you can have it when you're opening a job, you can see everything related to it, right? All the context you need to make sure that you're successful. You can see the documents that are linked to it. You can see the tasks, the time entries, the invoices, really anything that's related to that job, you can see in one place for real good organization. But it was always difficult to actually link those items to it. Now you can link all of those elements to a job when you're creating them right away. So as soon as you create a task, you can easily link it to a job. And you don't have to have the job created in order to do it at first. So when you're creating, let's say you're opening a task, you can click link to job and then create that new job right from there. Whereas previously you would have had to have the job already created. So it's those little things that have made linking items to jobs much easier and making it much simpler for you to really have that context that you need. The other thing especially for newer firms, when you join TaxDome and you go to a page, you're going to have no data on it, right? because you don't have any clients, you might not have any invoices, you might not have any documents. And previously it just said, there are no documents here. Now, although that's a true statement, it's not that helpful to you, right? When you come to a page, you want to understand what it is, and you want to be able to do the action that you came there to do. So now, first off, we've added new buttons everywhere. So if you go to a page and it's empty, whether it's invoices or in this case, accounts, you can quickly create that thing right there. You don't have to search for it. So really simple thing, but it is much in testing. This has been very helpful to people right away. And then we understand that our system is a lot of moving parts, right? That's what makes it amazing. And that's what makes it so wonderful or rather, obviously I think it's wonderful, but that makes it indispensable to so many firms, right? It's because they're able to do everything in one place. But the downside of that is there is somewhat of a learning curve because you have to understand how it all works. So what we're working on is adding tips and relevant articles that explain how the thing works that you are looking at in the interface, so you don't have to search around for it. Perfect example is accounts and contacts. Obviously, those of you who've been using TaxDome for a while, totally makes sense to you, right? An account is the entity or the family or the thing that you're working on, and the contacts are the actual people that you're interacting with. Makes sense once you're using it, but once you're getting started, it might not make sense because in some other system, they don't have this many-to-many relationship. Now, that's why here we have this information right there for you, and our education team is working hard to make sure that the articles are always up to date, the academy is up to date, and that you're going to see the most relevant information right on your screen right there and then. So those are some of the changes that you guys are already seeing for your firm or that you're going to be seeing in the near future. And now we wanted to talk about the user experience changes for your clients. Super excited about this. And again, some of you might not look at the client side at all because you're focused on your firm side. So this might be a really nice thing for you to see, just to see the user experience in the client side. So we're going to start off with the new mobile app. So brand new mobile apps. Before I get into it, you'll see it on the next screen, but brand new mobile apps for both iOS and Android. Next is we've completely redesigned the organizer interface, and we'll show you what that looks like and what you can expect. The new client portal design on the web. The first point is about the mobile app. The third point is about the web view. Then we're going to talk about proposals and engagement letters. I know people are really excited about that. So we're going to talk about that and what that looks like. And then finally is making things easier for your clients to complete actions without worrying about a sign-on. So let's dive in. So we released the beta version about 3 weeks ago, something like that. The feedback's been awesome. I love using it. I think we have testing in the app and we're getting great feedback, and we're super excited about this. Brand new mobile apps for both iOS and Android, completely redesigned, and everything is focused again on the user experience. We want to make things really easy. So the first thing you'll notice is giant buttons, right? Some of us might have older clients, or we have to remember that the client is reactionary, right? This isn't a consumer application that the person goes in and uses every day that they get used to. This is still a business application that they're using not that often. They're using it in a reactionary way. So we wanted to make huge buttons right away, make everything big and easy for them to read. So the first thing you'll notice is the big action buttons are right here. If they want to upload a document, if they want to scan a document, it's right there in their interface right there. And then we're going to have a whole article and videos that kind of describe what it's like, but recommend you guys, if you're interested, it's in both the iOS and the Android stores as Client Portal 2.0. And as soon as it's out of beta towards the end of September, then that app will be removed. And the first app, the main app, the ones that your client already has, will be replaced with this. So your clients will not have to download anything else. Their app will just automatically update to the new version. So we just have 2 apps right now while it's in beta, but once it's out of beta, you will not have 2 different apps. Next, redesigned organizers. Now, the problem in our industry and in general is getting clients to complete the thing you need them to complete. And these organizers have been optimized for the highest completion rates and engagement from your clients, right? Everything is focused on how do we get the client to give us the answers, and everything is focused around the user experience of what we can do as a technology platform to promote those things. So first thing you're going to see is instead of one long list of questions, which is what they had before, and we found that many organizers tend to be long, right? You guys are accountants, there's a lot of information you need to get. It's now grouped into really organized sections. Instead of your clients seeing 100 questions, they might only see 3 or 5 or 7 questions at a time, which makes it much, much easier for your client to get through, right? Next thing is everything, again, is really large. Not everyone is Gen Z, you're not even millennial. Gen Z is the new younger generation. Not even everyone is young and using these apps. They are made to, everything is big, right? You'll notice the buttons are much larger, so it's easy to find in any multi-select or in any yes/no option. It's really easy for your clients to select the answer. Next is automatic progression. So instead of your client having to answer the questions and then click next, if they're on the final question, it's just going to go automatically to the next section, right? So by reducing those clicks, it makes it easier and much more intuitive for them to go through the organizers faster. So in testing, this is making, again, a huge difference in both speed and in organizer completion. And finally, the other thing is, for those that are more tech savvy, you can use your keyboard. So you can be fully keyboard navigation instead of using your mouse. So for those that want to do that and are used to it, they can now progress through it completely without even touching the mouse. And now for the firm, this has also been a request for a while, but we threw this in here, is you can now make changes to your templates easier. So for example, you can now drag and drop sections up and down to make it easier for them to move, and other improvements. That's including the client redesign. We've also thrown in a way for you to make it easier for you to update your templates, because we also recognize that with this update, you might want to reorganize some of your questions and given the new interface. But super excited about this. This is doing really well in testing. So you guys should see this in the early access program soon. Cool. So the new client portal on the web. Now, this has already been released, so this is out, but again, we wanted to cover it because a lot of times, a lot of firms don't know, they don't see the client side of it. So we wanted to explain our rationale, and so you guys see how we're thinking about this. Your client portal is reactionary, right? Again, it's not Netflix, it's not Amazon. Your clients don't wake up in the morning and decide, let me log into my accountant's portal. They come here generally to complete the thing you need them to complete. They're going to come from their email, or some other notification, but they're going to come in to the portal likely to complete the thing you need them to complete. That's why everything is organized by what they need to do. And really everything is focused around, I'm the client. How do I know exactly what my firm needs me to do? And that's what this is all focused on. So it's super easy. With one click, they can complete the thing you need them to complete. And it's super organized in every section for them to know exactly what you need from them. Between this and the mobile app, we think that you guys are going to have really amazing feedback next year from your clients based off of these improvements. Now, those have been improvements on existing features, and this is an improvement, but it's really, to be honest, it's just a completely different interface, right? So for those of you that have used contracts, this is the next iteration of contracts, right? And we call it proposals and engagement letters. Now, this is a completely new client experience, right? So first and foremost, for many firms, the proposal and the engagement letter is your chance to show off your branding. So everything it's much cleaner. It's a brand new interface for your client to review. You can add images, you can add videos, you can really add as much or as a little branding as you want about your firm. Now, next, it's fully customizable. Many firms have complained that they don't want their client signing a contract. Your client can now sign whatever they want because it's going to be what you name it. So for the people that just want to do an engagement letter, you can just do that. So you can remove all these other sections. For those that want to have a full-on proposal, you'll be able to do that, including an introduction, including tying an invoice to the signing of the engagement letter. So this is the huge update from here is, if you want, you'll be able to require your client to pay or input their bank or the credit card information, whatever you want, in order to sign the engagement letter. So this is really a huge deal that we think you guys are going to be but the reason we're highlighting it here as part of Project Apollo isn't because of the functionality, but because of the user experience. For the client, it's going to be seamless. It's really easy to go through. They're going to feel really, really good about working with your company and your brand because of how this is going to appear. So again, this isn't just a way to get information to your client. It's a way for your firm to really put your best foot forward, so to speak. And you're really going to be able to do that. Look professional and really come across the way you want to for your client. Finally, clients can now pay invoices without signing in. So the general idea is we want you to get paid as quickly as possible with as few barriers in the way. And again, from a reactionary standpoint, everybody wants to get paid. And if you happen to have a login page in between you getting paid, that is a friction point. So that friction point has been removed. This is in the early access program, but should be added soon to everybody. But the idea is really speed up the customer journey at every step of the way. And that's what you're seeing here. So again, there's some other details you can read there, but the general idea, and we're going to be rolling this out to other parts of the system, is how can we make the client complete the action as quickly as possible with as few issues as possible and as few friction points as possible. And removing logins where possible is one of those things. So we've added that here. And now this has been added for one-time invoices, but it's going to be adding for recurring invoices in future releases. The other thing that you'll notice again is it's a brand new interface for your clients. So when they're paying and when they're viewing their invoice, those screens are completely new. And again, all focused on putting your brand forward and making the client experience even better. So this is really just the first batch. This is the first batch of what we want to cover. There's much more to come. You can expect a lot more updates, and we're going to have other webinars coming to this. But you guys can be, for those of you that have been with us for years, first off, thank you. But you've also seen how much we listen to you, how much we take your feedback into account, and how much we use that to make future upgrades. So please keep giving us your feedback. Our team is ready. Our team wants to interview you. Our team wants to speak with you. We're constantly sending out requests for that. We want to show you what we're working on. We want to run our ideas by you to make sure that you're getting the most of everything and you and your clients have the best user experience. All right, so I think we're going to start wrapping it up, guys. So this is awesome. I'm really happy to have covered this. We're super excited about a lot of the changes that are here. We think that these are already making and are going to continue to make a substantial improvement in your workflow. Again, some of these are in the early access program. And again, for those of you that don't know, the early access program is, think of it as early adopters. So the feature has been released, but we want feedback from the early access program in order to make sure that everything is working according to plan before we release it to production everywhere. So guys, thank you. We're excited to work with you. Thank you so much.